As I was saying in the first introduction, talking about the beginner pianos for children, after a number of years, and that person has shown that they're going to go on with their music and have a nice future studying and enjoying the piano, then it's time to graduate. It's got to be timed properly too. If we leave a child on one of the earlier instruments or one of the beginner instruments a little too long, sometimes their enthusiasm can wane. And so this is where the parents and the teacher will combine to say, right, we feel as though the time's come to reward this young person with, an advanced piano. And let's look here at a Ronisch, one of the more famous of the German pianos, almost Hall of Fame. There are a number of makers who comply with that description because their instruments were superb. Spruce soundboard, beautiful iron frame, lovely tone of the instrument, and of course a very advanced action or mechanism which gives a lovely touch to the piano, beautiful control. So a chance for a person to really study through their music and develop as a musician, and that's what we're all hoping for with our children. Now, Ronisch, made in Dresden, one of the famous piano making centres, Dresden, Berlin, Stuttgart. Pianos from there came from makers where the competition was incredibly strong amongst the makers, and everyone was looking over their shoulders to see who developed, better stringing techniques, better actions. So any instrument from those regions is always from a top maker. Now Ronisch, beautiful in every way, tone, touch, everything. I'll just play a little excerpt on it just to let you hear this particular instrument. This particular instrument is actually sold. It's going to replace a Ronisch that was lost in the bushfires of Marysville. So we feel very proud that a lovely instrument like this is going off to do something towards completing recovery for people there. So that was a very happy chapter. That's Ronisch. Now I'm just going to show you briefly inside this instrument because this is where the important work goes on. Obviously the appearance is a lovely thing for everyone to enjoy, but what's happening mechanically in the instrument and string wise is very important. This work we've been doing for many years in our family, and I'm proud to say I'm the 4th generation in the Watterson family to be piano tuners and restorers. Just removing the top panel there so we can have a good look. And this instrument, I've taken the trouble to replace all the strings. Beautiful new set of bass strings from our great string maker in Sydney, Lou Park. And this instrument has been repinned so that when it's tuned on a 12-monthly basis, it'll give good solid surface through that time. Hammers, German hammers once again from Abel. They make a beautiful hammer which coaxes the best possible tone from a piano. And once the hammers are replaced, they'll give 50 years of good service to a family. They're not like other things that we have in our lives that we buy and we slowly see them deteriorate. A piano, so long as it's maintained yearly, given plenty of use because they love to be busy, will last a couple of generations. And as I mentioned in our first little introduction, the guarantee that the family issues simply has no time limit. As long as it's tuned once a year, the instruments, well, we're very happy to stand by them. So all the components of the action in this instrument have been taken out and replaced. The damper felts, which are a little hard to see, they're an important component. All fresh new German felts. Lovely set of new hammers, carefully and properly arranged into the instrument, zeroed in onto the strings so that they're acting properly, and then voiced. Voicing brings out a lovely mellow tone from the instrument. It's something that's done every few years as part of the tuning visit. So there's a lovely action in that piano, all set to go and serve a person really basically through their playing life. This instrument, like many German instruments, has a lovely original set of ivory keys. Sometimes they're a little yellowed, so we take them out individually in the workshop, grind them back with a special set of grinders, and then take each key to a buff, and using a cutting compound, some jeweler's rouge, achieve a lovely pearly finish again. If the key tops do have to be replaced, well, there's some very fine materials we can use for that too. All our instruments come with a nice stool. This instrument's lucky enough to have its original stool, and here it is here, and I've had that refinished and reupholstered, and plenty of room inside for all the music. All our pianos come with stools, as I mentioned, and I have a gentleman who makes a lovely stool for us, if there's not an original stool with it. And this is typical of those stools. They're nice, lightweight stools, but they're properly made, dowelled, and by a furniture maker, not with little metal clips and things to hold the legs in place. And once again, that's nicely upholstered. And they're made to last a lifetime too, so that they'll sit proudly in front of the piano at the correct height and give good service for all those years. Important to have a piano stool because nothing else around our home will do that function. Dining room chairs with telephone books on them where children wobble away to sit at the right height, not correct. Better to have a nice piano stool, so that's why at no extra cost these instruments come with the piano when it's delivered. All the instruments we have come delivered, tuned, with a nice matching stool, and of course the guarantee. When the piano arrives, a little pouch will come with it too, which has items such as the receipt for the instrument, a little booklet that I issue which helps you to keep track of how the maintenance of the instrument is going. I think that's very important. This is a typical receipt. This is the receipt for this Ronish actually, bound for Marysville. But along with that comes the guarantee, which I said, so the little details of the instrument are recorded there. And that's just kept safe somewhere. This is an important thing. A little booklet that keeps a record of the maintenance of the piano. And that's something we've issued for many years too. And people have them going back 30, 40 years. Entrances of piano visits that my dad did for people all that time ago, recording that the piano was tuned to concert pitch, or any little adjustments, pedal adjustments and things that are done. So something like that you keep with you. And each visit, once a year, I fill in the details of what's been done, and that's nice to keep that going. It forms a little record and heritage of the piano that can be passed on through the family if that's what's to be. Also in this little folder, hints on looking after your piano, and here are detailed just the simplest things about where to place the piano in your home, what traps to avoid, like drafts or big windows, floor venting for heating, that's another one to watch, and it just spells out a few little things about how to look after your piano, and that's an important thing for children to read too, because they're getting something important here with an instrument. But simple care and following a few rules and having it tuned once a year, and they'll have the instrument for as long as they need it. So that's the beautiful Ronish. I have other Ronish instruments here. There's one here, an extended end one, which is perhaps a little hard for you to see. But once again, all restrung, a beautiful instrument from the same maker, a gorgeous tone. and they're prepared to go and do a good 50 years of hard work for a person. So I'm very happy to be able to say we have a number of lovely instruments here, all restored properly and thoughtfully, that are ready to take that young student after their first few initial years right on now to going through and making music part of their life. It's a lovely thing to be involved with.